Hello and welcome to week 6 check-in. This is our last official week together in our 6-week challenge, which has so many pros and cons to it when we hit week 6 because A, you've accomplished such an amazing thing in 6 weeks. You have lasted this long into a program. You have made significant life changes. You have developed such amazing habits. You have learned, I hope, so much information about nutrition, fitness, living a healthy lifestyle, as well as I really hope at the end of the day you learned so much about yourself, because that is the goal of this program when it comes down to the bare bones of it all. It is really becoming more aware of yourself, how you feel in your own skin, how foods make you feel, how movement makes you feel. And it really is about living mindfully. I know my tagline is mindful living. It's pause, mindful living. And where it came from originally was pause, meaning positivity, as well as just to take a pause in your life and really reflect on yourself. Stop being so busy and so chaotic and everything else, and just stop and pause and enjoy the little things and really focus on yourself. You will be the biggest investment you will ever make is into yourself. You will be a better person, a better spouse, a better partner, a better mother, a better father, a better co-worker, whatever you are in this life and whatever you will be in this life. Taking care of yourself and focusing on your own health and nutrition and own health and wellness will make you a better person. So none of the last 6 weeks has gone to waste. You have learned, like I said, so much about yourself, I hope. And I really hope you take this time that you can reflect back on this experience and take the weekly reflections. If you look back at them, I hope you wrote them down. I hope you took the time to focus on them and to really see how you've grown since week 1 and what you've accomplished, what challenges you faced, what challenges you've overcome to get to the point where you are right now in this moment, where I hope I hope that you have grown substantially over the last 6 weeks in some way, shape, and form. Again, Fridays, we always celebrate non-scale victories. So over the past 6 weeks, every Friday, we've looked at non-scale victories. And these are the things that I really want you to reflect back on as we focus on the highlights of the week. Every week we do these highlights. We look back and reflect, what are 3 highlights of your week? What is one thing you learned about yourself this week? What is one challenge you faced this week? What is the best thing that happened to you this week? And then as always, what are you most grateful for this week? And then as we do week 6, I'd like you to include what are maybe 3 highlights of this past 6 weeks of this 6-week challenge together. What's one thing you learned about yourself in the last 6 weeks that was really surprising to you? What is one challenge you faced during the 6 weeks that you've overcome? It can be a small challenge that you really struggled with over the first few weeks, and then by this time, in this 6-week moment, you've overcome that obstacle. What is one of those challenges? And what is the best thing that happened to you throughout this experience? Again, non-scale victories. It can be that you've improved your sleep, that you have kept your cool a bit more, your mood's a bit more improved, so you're not as easy to fly off the handle. Maybe you feel better in your clothes. Maybe you have more confidence. There's so many different things that you can reflect on. That's the best thing that happened to you. And then obviously, what are you most grateful for this past 6 weeks together? I know every time I do a 6-week round, I am so grateful for my clients, because not only am I educating you guys and teaching you guys this information, but I'm also learning so much about myself through being a coach. And I'm learning more about nutrition, I'm learning more about fitness. I'm growing through my journey. And so I'm always grateful for when I start a 6-week round and when I finish a 6-week round. So again, focus on that kind of stuff, because in the last 6 weeks, you've learned a lot. You've learned about whole food nutrition, you've learned about intermittent fasting, macro tracking, carb cycling. And so by this time, if you reflect back on week 1, when we started macro tracking, how hard it was and how much of a struggle it was to balance your macros, to figure it out. And where are you now? How much easier is it to think about your day ahead of time and think about, what have I eaten? What do I really have to eat? Have I eaten enough protein? Have I had enough carbs? The goal of the program and the goal of the Faster Way isn't necessarily to be tracking macros for every day for the rest of your life. I highly recommend tracking it obviously for the first 6 weeks, usually the second 6 weeks. Give it a good maybe 3 months of consistently tracking your macros. And then by that time, maybe you can taper off. Maybe you can do it a couple days a week just to kind of stay on track. But the goal of it, again, is mindful eating, mindful nutrition, How does a normal plate normally look? So as you're filling your plate during this last 6 weeks, what did it look like to you? What did it look like in proportion to each other, right? On a day that you have all this energy, what did your carb intake look like? You're like, I really feel like I nailed my carbs today. What does one serving of rice look like? What does one serving of potatoes look like? What does one serving of protein look like? These are all things that as you went this last 6 weeks, if you were paying attention, you should have learned, so that when you go out to eat, when you're cooking, when you're going to somebody's home to eat, you have an awareness of what a serving size looks like, what your plate should look like. And so do I track my macros every day? Absolutely not. I'm too busy to do that. But I also know what a typical day and a regular macro day looks like for me, as well as I also know what a typical day and a low carb day looks like for me. So I can plan accordingly, and I can think about it in my head and really plan out my day or plan out how I'm going to eat without even having to think about it, because it becomes habitual. And again, healthy living is based on accumulation of healthy habits that you don't have to think about, that you just actually do, because that is just your way of life. It gets really hard when you stop and start programs because you're not sure exactly what to do. And so as you've lived this way for 6 weeks, and if you continue it in VIP for the following, say 6 weeks to the next few months, you will sustain these habits. We will talk about the mindset shift, and the mindset concept I want to talk about this week really focuses on that. But first, I really want to kind of just focus on this week's affirmation. So this week we've been saying, I am proud of my courageous heart and soul for stepping out of my comfort zone and owning my health and wellness. I am allowed to be proud of myself. I am allowed to celebrate my successes. I am proud of myself for all my wins, both big and small, and I am proud of who I am today. I've been talking about this since day one. I really want you to be proud of yourself. I really want you to be proud of yourself for stepping out of your comfort zone, finishing up the 6 weeks together. Whether you're going into VIP or whether or not you're starting to go on your own, be proud of yourself. Whether or not you've lost 10 pounds, you've lost 1 pound, you haven't lost a pound, but you feel better. Celebrate your successes, celebrate you, because you are the most important person in the world to you. All right, and we need to be proud of ourselves. So many times women are like, oh no, thanks, but I'm okay, I'm bashful. Own that shit, ladies. Own your successes, own the hard work that you've put into it. Macro tracking and carb cycling is not easy. Is it simple? Absolutely, but it's not easy. It's not something that everybody wants to do. It's not something that everybody does. It's not something that everybody's willing to do to get the results that they want. So if you were willing to stick around for this full 6 weeks, if you were still here listening to me give you advice and spiel about some stuff, be proud of yourself, because it is a massive success that not everybody is willing to do. Anybody can do this. This is for everybody and anybody. This is not rocket science. This is not hard. This is something that is so simple, but yet not everybody's willing to do it. And so you've stepped out of your comfort zone. You've learned so much new information, and you are going to succeed in the future if you continue to put in the work. If you continue with these habits that you've already established within this last 6 weeks. So mindset this week is talking about the little quits, okay? At the end of the day, we all have little quits. And that is something where it's like, oh, maybe I won't. You've gotten this really good groove for healthy living. 6 weeks has gone by. You've been, crushing your water. You've been crushing intermittent fasting. You've been getting focused on your sleep, some self-care, tracking your macros. And then all of a sudden, next week, you're done, the 6 weeks together. And you're like, maybe I won't intermittent fast this week or today. Maybe I won't kind of get a good enough sleep. Maybe I will eat before bed. Maybe I will just have treats like a couple days a week. Maybe I will start doing this. Maybe I will start doing that. Maybe I won't, have a nap when I need to rest. Maybe I won't work out today. These are all little quits that don't seem like they're a big deal, but over time, if you keep doing these little quits, they accumulate to the big quit. And when you accumulate to the big quit, then what happens? You go back to where you were, starting from square one, and having to start all over again. And that's what we don't want. Your body is not meant to yo-yo. Your body is meant to kind of have a little bit of some little rolling hills, some sustainability, and some really just kind of going through it. We don't want the highs and the lows, because that's when our metabolism gets really messed around with. Our body doesn't understand the difference. And so we end up having these massive weight spikes, cortisol spikes, mood spikes, and so we really want to create sustainable habits long-term, where we are, over those last 6 weeks, we've created little wins, which led up to these great results, this great habits and lifestyle that we formed. Don't digress and become little quits, and go back to square one. So as we transition out of week 6, we are going to transition into VIP. If that's what you're choosing to do, I welcome you. I look forward to VIP and all the benefits of VIP. There's so many different challenges. There's so much information. There's the Faster Way Kitchen. There's some great stuff coming down the pipes with Faster Way that you get to be part of. And also, obviously, we'll transition to the VIP group. Keep an eye on some emails coming out in the near future from me. If you're not continuing with VIP and you've chosen to take a step back and just do it on your own, I wish you nothing but the best as well. I'm always here. I'm always welcoming my clients to come back into VIP. I'm always here to answer questions. Make sure you send me a message. I'm always here. I wish you nothing but the best. So if you are on your own, bye for now, and I wish you nothing but the best. And if you're here with me for VIP, I will see you in VIP. Bye.